My name is David Sherborne and I'm counsel to the core participants, victims in the inquiry. Together with my clients, I've had an opportunity to read what we can of the report in the time that's been available to us earlier this morning. It is, on any view, a weighty and impressive document, especially as it's been produced within the tight time frame which Lord Justice Leveson set himself at the outset. Whilst I'm sure that many of the individual core participant victims will be giving their own reactions, the consensus is that we welcome the contents of the report, and in particular, both the findings it contains and the recommendations which are proposed. In particular, there is a clear recognition of wide-scale failings in the culture, ethics and standards of the press and the devastating consequences which this has had for the victims. It recommends strong regulation of the press by a new independent body which is to be set up with real teeth. Importantly, this regulatory body is to be recognised and approved of by an underpinning statute. It proposes incentives for the press to sign up to this body of their own volition, and a fail-safe backstop regulator and other statutory systems if an individual newspaper or the industry as a whole fails to implement these recommendations properly. The Hunt Black proposal, which has been supported by the majority of the print media, has been demonstrated to be utterly unworkable and should be consigned to a footnote in history, which is where it belongs. In the face of compelling and often disturbing evidence which my clients gave to the inquiry about their experiences at the hands of the press over the years, the need for a strong and independent regulator is frankly unarguable, and Lord Justice Leveson has recommended exactly that. It only remains now for elected politicians to keep their promises and to put aside their personal relationships with proprietors and editors. The whole reason why the government appointed such a senior judge to conduct this public inquiry into press standards was because politicians have been compromised, as Module 3 so graphically demonstrated. Today, it seems we have finally learned from the failings of the past, and it is time now to implement these judicial recommendations within a time frame so that if the press fails to create this independent regulator, it must be this Parliament which imposes a statutory system upon them. Dominic Crossley now of Collier Bristow, who's the solicitor for the core participant victims, is going to say a few words. Thank you.
Having acted for the victims throughout the 12-month process of this inquiry, I know what an important moment this is for them. I would like to place on the record my personal thanks to each of them for finding the courage to participate in this inquiry and give evidence. They did so because they each want a better, more responsible press, because they recognise both the value of the press and its capacity to cause enormous and unjustifiable harm. We should also remember that they are just a small selection of the hundreds of other ordinary people that have been the victims of newspaper hacking, smears, bullying and intrusion. We hope that today marks a point at which we can expect better from our press, as outlined in Lord Justice Leveson's report and recommendations. Thank you.